Real Estate Exam Questions with Answers and Explanations, Part Number 15. What is the primary purpose of a CMA, comparative market analysis? A. To appraise the property officially for a loan. B. To estimate insurance costs. C. To suggest a listing price based on similar recent sales. D. To verify zoning compliance. Correct answer, C. To suggest a listing price based on similar recent sales. A CMA helps sellers set a competitive asking price and helps buyers decide what to offer by comparing nearby sales. For example, the agent completed a CMA showing 3 similar homes that recently sold in the neighborhood. This means the seller could price competitively based on actual market data. What does the term encroachment refer to in real estate? A. An illegal use of a zoning variance. B. Unauthorized building that extends onto another's property. C. A legal easement for access. D. A restriction in a deed. Correct answer, B. Unauthorized building that extends onto another's property. Encroachment occurs when a structure, like a fence or shed, crosses a boundary line without permission. For example, the neighbor's garage was partially on their lot, creating an encroachment issue. This means the structure illegally entered their property space. What does subrogation mean in title insurance? A. The right to transfer ownership. B. The right of one party to assume the legal rights of another. C. A method of foreclosure. D. A boundary dispute resolution. Correct answer, B. The right of one party to assume the legal rights of another. Subrogation allows the title insurer to step into the owner's legal position to recover losses from third parties. For example, after paying the claim, the title company used subrogation to pursue the seller for damages. This means the insurer took over the right to sue or recover from the original responsible party. What is redlining in real estate or lending? A. Denying loans based on neighborhood demographics. B. Setting maximum home values. C. Offering lower interest rates to repeat buyers. D. Steering clients towards certain neighborhoods. Correct answer, A. Denying loans based on neighborhood demographics. Redlining is an illegal discriminatory practice where lenders deny financing based on location, often linked to race or income level. For example, the lender was investigated for redlining after rejecting multiple applications from the same zip code. This means loans were unfairly denied based on geography. Which of the following best describes a life estate? A. Ownership for a fixed term. B. Ownership that ends upon the grantor's death. C. Ownership limited to the life of a specified person. D. Ownership that includes survivorship. Correct answer, C. Ownership limited to the life of a specified person. A life estate is an interest in property lasting for the life of the person, life tenant, after which it reverts to the grantor or another party. For example, she had the right to live in the house as long as she was alive under the terms of the life estate. This means her interest in the property would end upon her death. What is steering in real estate sales? A. Pressuring a seller to list. B. Directing buyers to or away from neighborhoods based on race or other protected characteristics. C. Determining property taxes. D. Offering incentives for moving. Correct answer, B. Directing buyers to or away from neighborhoods based on race or other protected characteristics. Steering is illegal and violates fair housing laws. Agents must not influence buyers' location choices based on race, religion, etc. For example, the agent was fined for steering Hispanic buyers to one neighborhood based on assumptions. This means the agent engaged in discriminatory behavior. Which form of ownership allows unequal shares and no survivorship rights? A. Joint tenancy. B. Community property. C. Tenancy by the entirety. D. Tenancy in common. Correct answer, D. Tenancy in common. Tenancy in common allows co-owners to hold different percentages, and each owner can will their share to heirs. For example, each sibling owned a different percentage of the house under tenancy in common. This means ownership wasn't equal or tied to automatic inheritance. What does constructive notice mean in real estate? A. Verbal disclosure of facts. B. Delivery of facts through social media. C. Legal assumption that a person has knowledge through public records. D. Physical posting of a notice on a property. Correct answer, C. Legal assumption that a person has knowledge through public records. Constructive notice as knowledge one is presumed to have by law when documents are recorded publicly. For example, since the lien was recorded, the buyer had constructive notice of it before purchase. This means the buyer was assumed to be aware of the issue, even if not told directly. What is the purpose of a deed restriction? A. To prevent foreclosure. B. To limit or control property use. C. To reduce property taxes. D. To modify title insurance coverage. Correct answer, B. To limit or control property use. Deed restrictions are private rules placed in deeds to control how a property can be used. For example, the deed restriction prohibited any commercial development on the land. This means the property had limits set by a prior owner or developer. What does the term servient tenement refer to in an easement? A. The property receiving the benefit of the easement. B. The lender's interest in a property. C. The property burdened by the easement. D. A tenant's right to terminate a lease. Correct answer, C. The property burdened by the easement. In an easement appurtenant, the servient tenement is the land that must allow access, the burdened property. For example, her driveway crossed the neighbor's land, making that land the servient tenement. This means the neighbor's property supported the easement use.